If you're a musician, a audio engineer, or simply a regular concert goer, chances are you've experienced that ringing in your ears. Maybe it's just after you've been exposed to loud sounds, or perhaps you have constant ear ringing, also known as tinnitus. I can relate, but recently I discovered that my ears are actually perfectly fine and that my tinnitus has other causes. So if you suffer from tinnitus, watch this video because I will share what I did. Maybe it's worth trying out for you too. Before we start, two disclaimers. The first, I'm not a medical professional or a doctor or anything, I just want to share my personal experiences with tinnitus and how I discovered the reason for it. The second thing, there is a debate whether it's correct to say tinnitus or tinnitus. I will stick with tinnitus because that's how you say it in German. Okay, now let's talk about my story and my tinnitus. I am a drummer since the age of 10, so for 21 years now. I'm also an audio engineer and I went to many concerts too. So when my ears started ringing many years ago, I just thought that it's normal. I've been exposed to very loud sounds, so maybe I've damaged my ears a little bit and therefore I have this persistent ringing in my ears. But since 2 or 3 years, I also have this kind of tension or pressure on the right side of my face here, on the jawline, going all the way up to my ear. It's nothing serious, so it's not a real pain. It's just similar to a cold. So when you have a cold, sometimes your nose feels closed, and that's how the right side of my face was feeling. So last month it got worse and I went to see a ENT doctor. He made various checks. We also made a complete hearing test, so not just the standard, you hear a signal and you have to click when you hear it. They also made some more advanced freaky tests, like they applied pressure to the ear and measured if the middle ear is anatomically correct. And the results of all these tests were actually shocking, but in a positive way, because my ears are still working perfectly. So also after 20 years of drumming, and especially in the early years, I didn't use any ear protection. It was just like any young rock band would do. You go into the rehearsal room, you crank up the amps, you bang the drums as hard as you can, and after that your ears are ringing. But these results showed that my ears, fortunately, didn't take any damage from that. Then the ENT doctor went on to examine my nose, my ears, my mouth, everything, even the auditory tube between the ears and the nose, and everything seemed alright. However, he did find out that if he applies ear pressure to my right jaw, that it hurts. So he thought it could be a problem with my jaw or with my teeth. It of course makes sense because the ear is right here over the jaw and the teeth, so if a problem is there or there is some pressure in this region, this could apply also to the ear. And of course the ear is very sensitive, and if there is some tension or pressure, our hearing gets impaired pretty fast. So it could be that there's some pressure coming from the jaw, from the teeth, that goes into my ear and that causes the tinnitus. The ENT doctor then recommended to do a cone beam CT to check my teeth and the jaw. I didn't do that because I know a dentist who is also some kind of chiropractor. So basically she's an expert in everything that has to do with teeth, jaw, posture and so on. So I went to see her and she found out that I'm completely stiff. So my complete upper body is completely rigid. It's like a tank. Maybe the main problem is that I'm clenching my jaw. Maybe it's because I'm clenching my jaw quite a lot. It could be because of stress or bad habits or also concentration. I guess we all know the feeling when we are working on music in front of our PC. We are completely focused, and what happens then is that we are completely there and concentrated and we clench our jaw and we don't notice it. So the first problem was that I was constantly applying pressure to my jaw because I was clenching my teeth while I was working so concentrated. And then the second problem was posture. Unfortunately, like many people who are working in front of a PC, I don't have the perfect posture. My head leans forward, and if you lean forward, what is holding your head? Your neck and also your jaw. So you apply even more pressure on your jaw. So basically I was clenching my teeth, plus the jaw had to keep my head in place. And this behavior caused many other consequences. The first is if you are clenching your jaw, so here is everything rigid, then also your neck muscles become completely rigid, and as a consequence of that, also your chest muscles. So my upper body is completely stiff. If all the muscles are stiff and rigid, this means that there is pressure and tension. And this tension is also translated to the ear. And as I said before, the ear is very sensitive, and if there is the slightest variation of pressure applied onto the ear, it can cause hearing problems. In my case, tinnitus. So after I found out that my tinnitus is not caused by damaged ears but by some posture and tension problem, what's the solution for that? The first one is to relax, so less stress, breath work, being more conscious, so also being aware that you are clenching your teeth and just to relax your jaw and your face muscles. And also some yoga to get rid of this stiffness. Then also getting some massage can help, but I'm not talking about these beauty massages, but the ones that really hurt. I got one a week ago and my muscles still kinda hurt. The next thing is to drink lots of water. Our body is basically 70% water, so we should also give our body enough water so it can function properly. And I also supplement with magnesium and potassium. All this together helps the muscle to loosen up. And lastly, also some stretching exercises to loosen up my stiff upper body, especially the neck. I'm doing that now for just over a week and I already see the results. So I'm generally more relaxed. The tension in my face has also become less, it's almost gone. And also the tinnitus has become quieter. I have to say that my tinnitus was not that loud, so it's not that it was really annoying. I just had this persistent quiet ringing in my ear. So this has gotten quieter, it's still there, but it's getting quieter, and I'm hoping that in the next week or months I'm getting completely rid of it. Generally, I feel more clear and focused, but without being so stiff. The only downside that I'm experiencing is that if you drink 2.5 liters of water per day, you spend more time on the toilet. And as we are speaking of water, let's take a sip of water. Great, so I will keep you updated on how this healing process is going. I know that musicians or audio engineers or any music lover freaks out when they have some ringing in their ear or generally any problem with their ears. And I also know that tinnitus has many reasons that can cause it, but this video can give you an idea that the reason for your tinnitus might not be damaged ears. And if this video helps only one person to get rid of their tinnitus, then it was well worth the effort to make this video. Thank you for watching and please subscribe to this channel for more music production tips. See you next time, bye.